And a very good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lori Rothman. A sharp sell-off underway on Wall Street. Let's go there now, where we find Suzanne O'Halloran live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. So we know banks and financials among the weak links here. Suzanne, give us some more color as to what the problem is today. Where are the bulls?
Well, I'm going to find out, Lori, because I'm right here with Ben Willis of VDM Institutional Brokerage. Ben, we're seeing a sharp sell-off in stocks, yet we got positive data on manufacturing and housing. What's happening?
Well, I think a lot of the data we saw this morning, it was a great headline, but it's built into the story. It was not a real surprise. Slightly better than the ISM, but I think the direction of the market was set in place the previous day for a downward move. So we got that out of the way, and we're continuing that path of least resistance we set on Monday to the downside.
All right, we're seeing banks and financials as the biggest decliner right now in the S&P. Are you hearing anything? What really sparked that sell-off from this morning?
Well, it's reminiscent of the bear raids that we saw on the likes of Lehman and the brokerage firms. There are stories going around about a domestic bank failure, and there's heavy put activity, particularly in Wells Fargo, is the one that people seem to be focusing on. 35,000 contracts of the October 24 puts have traded. So there's stories swirling around it. It's unfortunate, but it looks like we're revisiting that time again.
Okay. When we look at some of the levels in the S&P, you and I were talking about the 1,000 level. What should investors be paying attention to when we see a pullback of 1% across the board like we're seeing today?
Well, as Mr. Lynch of Fidelity fame used to say, you buy stocks that you know and love and save a little money to buy them when they're cheaper. This is going to be an opportunity during this month to buy stocks that are cheaper. We broke through the 1015 level on the S&P, which is a breakout level earlier. We traded right to the 1,000 mark, which is the low of the day as we're speaking right now. But I think the trend from here is still down to about 975 and so you get an opportunity to buy them again there.
Okay, when you talk about buying stocks on a pullback, where should you be putting your money today, since we have seen stocks have such a tremendous run since March? I mean, where are the opportunities?
Well, I think you have to think a little bit further out in the timeline, but I would still think if I had to pick one area, it would be in the energy area, and that's pretty broad spectrum, from the large oil producers to downstream production and some of the MLPs.
Okay, I just want to ask you about AIG, because that stock continues to be of interest among investors. It's down sharply today. Sam Bernstein said sell the stock. Basically, they put the whole rally we've seen in this summer in question for AIG. What's your opinion on a stock like that the government owns that company, essentially?
I think you said it right there. The government owns it. But we've seen this momentum trade that took hold in Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, AIG, huge trading volume on a daily basis, and really nothing to justify it. You had the chairman of the company of AIG say, if we sold everything we had today, we would not be able to return all that we borrowed. That's a net loss for any equity holder. The only people, if you're going to be involved and you think there's a survival rate, you probably should be in the debt side of it, not the equity side.
Okay, Ben, we're going to leave it there. Lori, back to you.
Suzanne O'Halloran live at the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.